Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. If you are not yet a subscriber, kindly hit the subscribe button. My name is Fisayo Patrick, and in this video I want to talk about how to actually grow as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. In 2017, I took a basic entrepreneurship course where we were taught like the foundations of actually starting a business. And one of the topics we were taught was who qualified to become an entrepreneur and who didn't. So I remember they said if you are not competitive, you can't succeed as an entrepreneur. If you have really low energy, you can't succeed. If you are somebody who gives up way easily, you cannot succeed in entrepreneurship. If you are not a visionary and if you are not willing to learn things, you cannot succeed in the world of entrepreneurship. But in this video, I want to talk about how you can actually grow. That is, if you have decided or concluded that entrepreneurship is for you. I'm going to be talking about how you can actually grow in the world of entrepreneurship. So again, if you have concluded that entrepreneurship is for you, if you have all these characteristics of a successful entrepreneur, then these following steps are how you can grow, or at least these are the steps that I am taking to grow as an entrepreneur. Number one, you have to create a vision. So you can't get to where you intend to get to if you do not have a vision. You cannot succeed as an entrepreneur if you don't have a vision. So if you read stories of all these, big names in entrepreneurship, all these successful entrepreneurs, billionaires, millionaires, they always talk about how they had, visions that drove them to succeed. For example, Bill Gates said his vision was to make it possible for everyone to have a computer. So his vision was to make it possible to have a computer on every desk and in every home. Today, they have grown by leaps and bounds. Steve Jobs' vision was to build products that were, almost an extension of oneself. So you can see today that Apple is such a huge success. So what is your vision? Do you want to become the world's best software engineer? Do you want to build an agency that will help drive digital growth for businesses or digital growth for nations? Or do you want to manufacture the best traditional food in the continent? Sit down and craft a well thought out vision. Include everything from what your business will focus on to what your everyday in that business will look like. So this will give you and the business a clear focus and stop you from going on in wrong directions. Number two, set goals. Now that you have crafted your vision, you want to set goals. Setting goals is crucial to your success, whether as a startup or as someone who's already established. They'll help you clarify what it is that you want to achieve. Goals provide structure, motivation, and a roadmap for success, enabling you to make informed decisions, to track progress, and to ultimately achieve your business objectives. And these goals should be aligned with, that long-term vision for the business. Goals also serve as stepping stones towards realizing that vision, helping you make progress in a systematic way. They also provide a benchmark for evaluating your performance. And when you start getting results, you can compare those results to your goals to help you determine how well you are doing. So, by doing this, you can make adjustments, you can actually make improvements as you go along. Number three, look out for self-help resources. I'm going to explain what I mean by this. So some of the best minds in business, in entrepreneurship, some of the best minds in the world actually spend significant time burying their heads in books. It's really funny when people say things like books are not everything. I don't really like to read. I'm not really a book person. You need to read, especially if you want to succeed in business. It really just makes you smarter and it gives you a broader understanding. And I can categorically tell you that I think differently from my peers, right? I speak differently from my peers, and people don't fail to make me realize that. So let's say, for instance, in a group of people, and when I start to talk, people will actually let me realize that what I'm saying, what you're saying is that I'm really different from what others have said. You are highly intelligent, you are this, you are that. And still, it doesn't make them go and bury their own heads in books. People will say things like, oh, you're a bookworm, oh, you love to read, oh, you're intelligent, oh, this is good. And they still don't pick up a book. You need to pick up a book, you need to read. There are so many things you can learn from a book. There are so many things you can learn from an author. I read a book by Donald Trump, I think Like a Billionaire, and he said a lot of things that I still use them today. When I was reading the book, someone actually told me that, oh, this is an American author, it can't work here. It can't work here, read books by Nigerian authors. I'm sorry, universal laws are universal laws. That's why they are called universal laws. In fact, you should be more interested in what an American author has to write, because by the virtue of the fact that their system works, they have something better to share. And to be honest with you, not a lot of Nigerians write books on finances, books on personal development, and even spiritual books. The only books that we are able to read to glean a lot from are books written by foreign authors. So cut that crap about this book was written by an American, this book was written by an European, this book was written 15 years ago. The laws are the same thing. So financial principles, for instance, are universal, right? What the savings and budgeting abroad is the same way you save and budget here, right? So our system is the only thing that is different, but universal laws are universal. Number 4, find a mentor. So you need to be mentored by somebody who has done what you want to do, what you are doing, somebody who has succeeded in what in your whatever you are doing, right? Somebody who has a track record of success, who has a track record of progress, who has a track record of integrity. If you have a mentor, your mentor will save you a lot of stress and a lot of costly mistakes. Having a mentor, somebody who has a track record of success, will help you go very far, very fast. Also, you need a business coach, right? You need a business coach to succeed. So currently, I don't have a business coach, and I'll tell you why. When I started, when I realized that this is what I wanted to do and I was really into it, I could not afford one. There were a lot of coaches, and their rates were really high at that time. So now that I can afford it, I'm looking for a business coach. I know the step that I want to take. I know where I want to go to next, but I know that I can't go there without a coach or without a mentor. So you want to do that for yourself as well. Find someone who will coach you to success. Find someone who will mentor you to success. And listen to their advice. You need to actually take their advice. Ask them for help. Number 5, create killer branding. You need to be deliberate from the start. You need to be deliberate from the very beginning. Don't give your logo design projects to a roadside graphics designer. Don't do your social media by the side. Don't attempt to do things that you can't do yourself. It is important that you are very, very intentional about your branding right from the start. And I'm saying these things from what I've experienced from business owners. So when they finally decide that they want to take their branding serious, or they want to take their social media serious, and they come to me, we will start running around looking for who created their logo. They don't know who created their logo, and they still want that same logo. So I have to go through the horrors of recreating what a roadside graphic designer did for them. Some will say their niece or their nephew is handling their social media, and by the time you look at it, it's not congruent with the vision that they have for that business. So you need to be deliberate. That's why I said that you need to be deliberate about it from the start. I have actually worked with someone who had really huge ideas, vision for their business. And when it was time to start working, they sent me a flyer and asked me to extract their logo from that flyer. And I had to get it done. So it's just, that's why I said I have to go through the horrors of recreating their roadside graphic designed project. So you need to be deliberate from the start. Without proper branding, your business has no direction to it, right? It has no aesthetic. It has no feel. You won't be able to charge premium. You have no bragging rights, right? You would, customers would prefer to go to someone who looks like they know what they are doing than to come to you. They will prefer to go to someone who looks organized and has a brand identity than to come to you who's just winging it. So get your branding elements right. Get your logo, your typography, your text, your tagline, your writing style, your fonts, your marketing materials, your message, your brand voice. Get all those things right. And let them be consistent in every aspect of the business. From your website to your social media feed, to your marketing collateral, to your photography style, and to any other visual representation of your business. Finally, number 6, have a great routine. So when I just started in business, I was just doing things, as I wanted to. I was doing so many things. I was getting busy all the time. But at the end of the day, I couldn't point to something significant that I had achieved at the end of that day. I was not growing. My profit was not growing. My brand was not growing. Nothing was growing. But I was always on my computer. So I realized that not being organized was killing me softly. So I created a routine for myself, and while my routine is not, I don't really stick to it, religiously at that time. It worked. So whenever I woke up and took my bath and do every other thing that I did, I would write down a list of the things that I wanted to do for that day. I realized that if I don't write down a list, I just do things. Things will just come up and I just do things. But when I started to write a list and stuck to that list, I was getting more things done. So I would write a list of things that I wanted to achieve in an order of priority. Then later I reduced this to 5 things that I wanted to achieve. And until the last thing is checked from my notes, I won't stop working. And it was really working for me. So I realized then that I really needed a structured morning routine. So now when I wake up, I study my Bible, I take my devotional, I say a word of prayer, then I take breakfast, right? I open up my laptop and I work while I take, that small breakfast. And the night before, I would have written down a list of the 5 things that I want to achieve. And it was working for me. So anytime I'm working, I open the journal where the to-do list is, and as I'm working, I'm looking at it, I'm checking it off my off the list, and it was really helpful. So you need to have a morning routine. You need to get productive. You need to get organized. You need to build your future slowly, one step at a time, by hitting all the right marks. Okay, so that's all I have on this video. If you've loved this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Fisayo Patrick 1. I will see you in the next video.